Hi friend, getting ready for a baby can feel overwhelming. Where do you even start with all the stuff? Well, I'm here to give you concrete steps to get ready for a baby. By the time this video is finished, you will have an actionable plan for your baby prep checklist. I'm Katie Huey Harrison, founder and editor-in-chief of Undefining Motherhood. We're an educational site and community, equipping moms with the knowledge to do this whole mom thing your own way. Today, I'm talking about getting ready for a baby. This is a topic I'm super passionate about right now. Not only because our pregnancy planner, Expecting and Organized, is all about preparing for baby, but also because I just had one. So I have a lot of recent practice in this arena. In fact, I had such an easier time with this recovery and newborn stage because I used my own systems to get ready for my baby after falling completely flat on my face after I had my son. So I know everybody says, oh, people tell you you need all this gear and you need all these things on your registry, but all you really need is some diapers and a place for baby to sleep and you're gonna be fine. Those people aren't wrong, but, and there's a big but, you're gonna be fine. You're also going to be exhausted and overwhelmed, and that is not what I want for you, friend. I want you to be able to enjoy your newborn phase. I want you to be able to thrive as much as we're able to do on exceedingly interrupted sleep. So here, I'm going to talk through my top things that you need to get done before baby arrives, just to make sure that all your bases are covered and you're able to enjoy life with your newborn as much as possible. And of course, to help you out, there is a checklist. We've created a full, free, downloadable Getting Ready for Baby bundle. It has all the checklists you're gonna need to get started, so I've dropped that link in the description below. Now, we're gonna talk about getting ready for a baby in 4 parts. The 4 things we're gonna think about are home, logistics, medical care, and gear. And if you can prepare in these 4 areas, you are going to make your life so much easier before baby ever arrives. So what do you need to do to get your home ready? Well, the number one thing that I recommend for every mom out there is mama baby stations. I have talked about this in past videos. There's one for each individual station. We have 5 stations we recommend, 4, 5 if you're breastfeeding. I recommend having a mom snack station, a postpartum basket, a baby medical kit. Of course, you want a good solid changing station. Oftentimes you're actually going to want 2, so check out that video to learn more. And if you're planning to breastfeed, you also want that 5th breastfeeding station. Setting these stations up in your home before baby comes is going to make things so much easier for you after baby arrives. What these stations do is they let you have the items you need not only stocked, but also organized in the most logical places with everything that you can need in them. So things are quite literally at your fingertips. You're feeding baby and you're starving and you're thirsty and you haven't had a chance to eat, but you don't want to move them or wake them up if they're falling asleep. That snack station is literally within arm's reach if you use my systems. So go back and watch those videos and make sure that you're setting yourself up for success by having specific plans for baby's changing station, for their medical gear, medicines, thermometers, things that you're gonna need when they get sick. You don't want to have to run to the store in those moments, right? You really want to be able to just grab what you need. Also making sure you have what you need for postpartum recovery, because thriving in motherhood is not about taking care of baby alone. It is about taking care of yourself, mama, and we want to help you to recover as much and as well as possible. And then finally, your diaper changing station. You want to make sure you are fully equipped to take care of baby, never worrying about, oh my gosh, I'm out of wipes, I don't have the right size diaper, I see a diaper rash and I don't know what to do about it, I don't have the right supplies. If you're setting this all up in advance, I promise you what you're actually doing is setting yourself up for success. If you want a full list of those stations and what to put in each of them, grab our downloadable Getting Ready for Baby bundle. It's free and it has all of this information for you. Next, I want you to start thinking about logistics. I know, we all hate that word, right? I certainly do. Running my own business, there's nothing I hate more than the operations and the logistics and is everything gonna get done? But these are the things that make our lives work and function. So even if they make us cringe, or for some of you, you might be celebrating hearing that word, and that's cool too. I kind of envy you. Please prepare for the logistics of having a baby, and I'm going to talk you through the most important ones in my experience. First, take a birth class. And what this means is that you're going to take a class where you learn a lot of basics about different things that can happen in labor. Because there's one thing we know about childbirth, it is unpredictable. We want control, we want everything to go our way, but we know that actually it's very out of our control in a lot of ways. So we want to learn about the different things that can happen so we can be prepared, so that then we're able to decide what we want personally, control what we can, so we can let go of control for what we can't. You can take these classes online, or you can take them through your hospital. Next, you want to make sure you do a hospital tour. This can be virtual, or it can also be in person at your hospital. But if you are giving birth in a hospital or in a birthing center, make sure you have toured it ahead of time. And then in addition to the tour, I recommend doing a test run. When you go into labor, where are you going to go? Where is someone going to drop you off? How are you going to get there? What door do you need to go in? Where are they going to go park the car? Do they come in with you before they park the car? Or do they have to go get parked before they're able to come in? What do you do if you're in super active labor when you show up and you want a support person in with you? What are they supposed to do in that time? All of these things are things that you figure out in that hospital test run. It's quick. It's easy, hopefully, unless you live really far away from your hospital or birthing center, and it will really give you a lot of added comfort knowing you have a set plan and you can picture everything in your mind. You know where to go and you're good. Next, I want you to think about dreaded words here, human resources. If you are a working mom, you need to arrange for leave before it happens. So there are a couple of things you're going to want to figure out with your human resources department. The first is, what is your leave going to look like? What is the structure? How long do you get? Is it paid or unpaid? Then, if you're getting partial reimbursement for your leave, where does that come from? Some companies, unfortunately not enough of them in the US, actually do compensate employees for their family leave time. Most of them do not. Most companies in the United States are going to require that you use short-term disability to pay for a portion of your family leave. So if that's you, you also have to make sure that you've got all the paperwork ready for short-term disability. So not only have you done that FMLA paperwork if you're in the United States, but you've also done the short-term disability paperwork. You want to make sure that this is done ahead of time so that your life is so much easier and you know exactly what to expect and your paychecks come the way you expect them to and need them to. Now, another thing that you need to handle, and this might be through your human resources department or it might not, it depends on your family structure, is insurance. This is for my US mamas. Getting baby onto your health insurance is something that most companies only give you their first 30 days of life for. And you know what you're not thinking about in their first 30 days of life? Health insurance. So find out what you need to do now. Get the forms, have everything as filled out as it can be before they're born, and then you can fill in that last information and send it off. Sometimes it's going to go straight to your department. Sometimes you're going to need to drop something in the mail. Know what you're going to need to do and just have it ready. I promise you're going to thank yourself for it once baby is here. 2 more logistical steps I want you to think of. Next is childcare. During the pandemic, twice the number of women left the workforce as men. And the majority of the moms who left the workforce are citing childcare problems as the reason they had to leave. Lack of affordable childcare, lack of childcare at all. So figure out your situation now. Do you need to get on daycare wait lists? Are you going to have a friend or a relative watch your child? Are you going to have a nanny who watches your child? Maybe you're going to have a nanny share where you work with another family to share someone so that it's a little bit more economical. Figure out the solution that is going to work best for your family. Sometimes daycare wait lists can be really long and you need to be on them before baby is even born. This depends on where you live. It depends on the solutions you're planning, but go ahead and get an idea of what those solutions are going to look like, because it's going to be really important when the time comes that you need it, and it's not always quick and easy to figure out. Having a backup option can also be really huge, particularly if your job is not flexible. So what happens if your daycare has to close because of an outbreak of an illness? What happens if your childcare provider calls in sick? What happens when your baby is sick? Even if all you know is who is going to take care of the baby between you and a partner or between you and your parent, whatever that situation, you want to go ahead and have that plan in place now. And finally, the last logistical step I really recommend thinking about is during labor and delivery, who is going to take care of older children and or pets? What is that going to look like? You want to make sure you're choosing someone who is able to get there quickly in case you go into labor suddenly. So if you have someone who lives 6 hours away who's going to come when you're in labor, but you have an older child, you need an interim plan until that person can get here. So go ahead and make those plans to make your life so much easier. Now, before I wrap up with baby medical and gear that you're going to need to prep before baby arrives, I want to hear from you. What did you think was the number one most important thing for baby prep that made you feel relaxed, comfortable, like you had really accomplished something? Drop a comment below and tell me about it so we can get a great list going and I can create even more content to help you with those things. Next, we want to figure out medical care for baby, and this means a couple of different things. Number one, choose a pediatrician. Who is going to care for your baby's medical care after they are born? There are a lot of considerations that go into choosing a pediatrician. Location is a huge one. If you have health insurance, who is in your network? If you're on a state or national health insurance, then how is that something that is covered for different pediatricians, and thus where are you going to need to go? Sometimes you're going to have more choice than other times, but making sure you know who that provider is going to be is super important. And then if you're in the US, at least, you want to have that information written down because they're going to need it before you're allowed to leave the hospital with baby. So you want to know who is the pediatrician. At some pediatricians' offices, you need to pre-register baby before they're born. At others, you just call and make that appointment after they're born, and they had no idea that this kid was coming. That's how mine works, and I really love that about them. You're also going to want to consider things like personality of doctors, recommendations from other parents who parent the way that you would like to, things like vaccination preferences. Some doctors' offices will require that you follow a strict vaccination schedule. Others will suggest that you can modify, that you can adjust the timeline. You want to make sure you're finding a doctor who fits what you desire for yourself and your children. So talk to other doctors, check with moms in local mom groups, see what people recommend, and find the best fit for your baby. Other things you want to do to prepare for your baby's medical care once they arrive. Find out your nearest hospital that can treat your child. Is it a children's hospital? Is it a local hospital that then will send them out to a children's hospital if they need a specialist? How is that going to work? Make sure you have not only that information, but have it written down, have the address, have the phone number of the emergency room, whatever you're going to need to do. We also want to think about lesser emergencies. What if you need to get your baby cared for on a Sunday night, but you don't need to take them to the emergency room and clog that waiting area and put them around potentially sick people who are there? What does the urgent care situation look like? Where do you need to take your child in that scenario? Again, you want to have your pediatrician, your hospital, and your urgent care information somewhere in your house, written down with an address, with a phone number. I also like to save them in my phone, and then I just have the address in my phone, so it's really easy for me to get to. And finally, get infant CPR certified and first aid certified. Here's what I mean by that. You can take online classes through the American Heart Association or the American Red Cross. You can take in-person classes. Usually they're offered through your hospital. I strongly recommend an in-person class if at all possible, and here's why. I've had to perform CPR to save a child's life, and it's gut-wrenching. It's something you feel like you're not gonna recover from. And if that were to be your child, thank God I've never had to do it on my own child, and I pray I never have to. If that were to be your child, you need that muscle memory. So if you do an online class, that's better than nothing, and if that's what you can access, then please do it. But if you do an online class, you don't have someone watching your form. You don't get the practice on that little dummy doll who moves the way a human moves, where you can feel the pressure, you can feel the pushback, you can feel what you need to, so that you're able to repeat that performance in a real life situation. I really encourage you, if at all possible, get to an in-person event and do CPR and first aid training. The CPR that you do on people who are not infants, on children and adults, is completely different from infant CPR. So you want to learn infant CPR, and then as your child gets older, you're going to want to learn how to do it for all children. The same thing goes for choking, and this is why I recommend first aid in general. Infant choking is different from choking for everyone else, and you want to know the rules, you want to know what to expect, and you want to practice. Finally, baby gear. There are two things that I really suggest you get a little bit of practice with before a baby comes, and here are those things: your car seat and your stroller. These are things that are going to make your life so much easier or so much harder once a baby comes, and already knowing how to use them, how to adjust them, how to fit them to your child is going to make a world of difference for you, I promise. So when you're in the hospital, at least if you're in the United States, they're going to give you, they're going to ask you to bring your car seat up to your room, and then they're going to ask you to put baby in the car seat. You're not legally allowed to leave the hospital in the United States unless they see a car seat installed in your car. But what they cannot do is touch your car seat, touch your baby in the car seat, or tell you if your car seat is properly installed. So I recommend using online resources. There are some amazing ones. My favorite one is Safe in the Seat on Instagram. She has resources you can download, courses you can take, everything you need to know to make sure that you install your car seat properly and you learn how to fit your baby in it. Please use those resources. Then what you want to do is you want to practice with that car seat. Not only do you want to install it, but you want to try to put a baby doll in it, a stuffed animal in it, and say, how do I adjust the arm straps? How do I adjust the leg straps? What if the shoulders are too high? What if the pitch of the car seat isn't right and my baby's sitting up too much and so their head's flopping forward? You need to know how to handle all of these things, because if you can't handle these things when you're alone in the hospital because the support person is down getting the car seat and sitting in the car waiting on you, it's so stressful. I've been there. I've been unprepared in this moment, and I do not want you to be unprepared in this moment. It's so stressful. Hospital staff just sitting around watching you fumble and be frustrated, usually with a crying baby, and they can't legally help you. So practice with your car seat ahead of time. Guess the size it's going to need to be, but you never know. Babies are different sizes, so understanding how to adjust it is huge. And then do the same thing with your stroller, because when you want to take the baby somewhere for the first time, you're going to need to know how to open your stroller, how to close your stroller, and how to clip the car seat in and out of that stroller. They all work differently, so you want to just make sure that you understand with yours: opening, closing, putting car seat in safely. If you can do all of these things, mama, you're going to be so much better prepared for when baby arrives. And you know what I really want you to think about? You don't need to do these things alone. If you have a partner or support people who are going to be caring for your baby, have them help you. Have them use the checklists from the Getting Ready for Baby bundle, from the Expecting and Organized planner, and set things up for you so that you're not doing all of the work. Have them practice with the car seat, with the stroller. Have them help organize the information for medical care, pediatricians, hospitals. Get other people involved, because you are not alone in your baby care. And it's hard, and you're gonna need help, and you deserve help. You should not have to do this all by yourself. So bring that help in, give them the checklists, and help other people help you get organized and ready so you can take good care of yourself. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more helpful tips and information about how to get ready for baby. Bye.